all to the 10th session of Code Crunchers. So I hope that you would have revised all what we have done, the for loop, while loops, and everything which we did up till the last class. Okay, because today we are going to learn a new topic. It's a completely new topic, requires a lot of logics and understanding. So I'll be sharing my screen. The topic is known as chopping. And for that, first I'm going to give you two questions. Will be a revision question and the other will be related to the topic. You will try to make that program and then I'll explain the whole topic to you. So let me just share the whiteboard. Okay. Okay, so first I'm going to give you a question. You're required to, as soon as possible, make the whole program and send it to me or raise your hand. Okay, so here's the question. I'm posting it in the chat box. Write a program to input two numbers and using while loop print both 5 times. In this program, you have to input two numbers. Note that you have to input the numbers and using while loop, you have to print both 5 times. That is, if one number is 4 and the other is 6, then you have to print 4 5 times and 6 also you have to print 5 times. So you are requested to make this program. You've got maximum 3 minutes. Okay, so it's time. I hope you have completed the program. If yes, you may raise your hand. Okay, so one of the candidates has completed his program, and I hope the other one also has completed the program. If you have completed the program, you may raise your hand. Okay, so you both may send the program in the chat box personally to me, and then we'll discuss it. Okay, so one of the candidates has sent his program. The other one also, yeah, you can just dictate the program then, because this is a just a revision of
Sir,
what we did.
send public static void main will write int a and int b.
Okay, int a comma int b. Then
And then we will again that open a bracket.
yes,
We'll write int a is equal to x.
why?
Or sir, we can do that int x is equal to any number.
Yeah, 1. Because over here, if you'll means store the value of x in a, which you said int a is equal to x, that you cannot do because x was not even declared as a variable.
Okay, sir.
Then
And then we'll write int y is equal to also 1.
so you're taking two variables.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Sir, you said na two input, two numbers.
Yeah,
That's why.
so you have entered two numbers a and b. So why are you're taking two variables also, x and y? This
We will
x,
not take.
tell me, this x you are taking for what? You're taking for the while loop, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And then why you were taking int y? You took it means to make another while loop.
Yes, sir.
But why? You can club both of the print statements in a single while loop also. You do not require to unnecessary create another while loop for it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we'll then just write while x
Yes.
is
Y
less than
X.
equal to 5, and I'll run this
Yes, sir.
program also. So system dot out dot println a and system,
Sir, what if we don't write the print statement?
nothing will get printed in the while loop.
The output will show error or some other.
So you are saying that if you totally do not write the print statement anywhere in the program,
Yes, sir.
you will not get any output. The program will compile, but you will not get any output because
Okay.
whatever you write in the print statement, it is taken as the output. Okay, so I'll I'll be running this program once on BlueJ, and then we'll go towards chopping. So this was the program we made by using a single while loop. And see, the program runs line by line. Like the first line in the loop, we have written the first print statement, so it will print the value of a. If, for example, we took the value as 5, so it will print 5, and then it will go to the next statement. It will print 6, 6 as in the value of b. Okay, and then x plus plus the increment statement, so the value of x will increase from 1 to 2, and then again the loop will go over once again, and now it will again check if 2 is less than or equal to 5, and if the condition is true, it will again print the first statement, and then it will print the second statement. So I hope it's clear that it runs, the whole program runs line by line. Okay, so now I'll compile this program. C class compiled, no syntax error. And here's the class. I'll enter values in it, and here is the output: 5 6 5 6 5 6 5 6 5 6. 5 times it printed both the values. Okay, hope this program's clear. Now I'm going to send you a question which would require the understanding of chopping. Okay, and first I'll be means, and also you have to keep in mind the division operators we did, like the one you require when you used to take out the quotient, the one which was used to take out the remainder, and so on and so forth. So here's the question: write a program, and I'll give you 2 minutes to just try to make this program. If you're not able to get the logic, at least make the program till the till variable declarations, till the loop. So write a program to input a number and print its digits in different lines. So for example, you have entered the number 587. So in the output, first you'll need the output as 5, in the next line 8, and in the next line 7. So here's the question. I'm giving you 2 minutes. By 10:55, if you make this program well and good, else I'll explain it. You try to make the program, okay? Even though it might be hard for you, but you just try, and then I'll explain the whole process to you. See, you said what this job means. Even if you're not understanding the meaning of job, you can see it has been specified in the line after it. It's written to print its digits in different lines. Means you have to break that number apart. For example, you have entered the number 587. So 5 should get printed in the first line, then 8 should get printed in the next line, and then 7 in the last line of the output. Hope it's clear. You have to means break the number apart in all of the digits. You have to separate them. Okay, hope you tried making the program. Now I'll explain it to the program to you, and you're required to pay attention. Yeah, here's the whiteboard. So the basic concept of chopping is that if I have a number as in 567, the basic concept is that if they are in a variable a, the number is 567, then I have to dismantle this number literally. Means I have to separate this 5, the 6, and this 7, and then I'll print all of them in different lines, as in using the println statement, because it prints in different lines. So this is what chopping is all about. Now, wait, yeah, now the syntax for it is simple. You're expected to understand its logic. No, 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 it's not like that. uh, I said we are dismantling the number. We are we are taking 5 as a separate entity, 6 as a separate entity, and 7 as a separate entity, not as writing 5 as 500, 6 as 60, and 7 as 7 ones. No. So I'm making the program class chop public static void main. So int a. Now here you're required to pay attention. Yeah, so int a I'm taking as the variable, and then the while we use as in English. So the same thing, while means the chopping will continue. You are specifying over here. You are using a while loop, and in that while loop, you are specifying that the chopping will continue until and unless this condition happens. So you are writing while a is greater than 0. That is, it specifies that the chopping will continue to occur, or the loop will continue to execute till the time a is greater than 0. So while a is greater than 0, and then you'll be using two variables. So I'll just declare it over here. Yeah, so int n equals 0. Okay, now it's fit to go. Yeah, so uh, n is equal to, I'll just write the syntax first over here, the whole program, and then I'll explain it to you. N is equal to a percent 10 to get the remainder, because you do not know the length of the number. The number can be in lakhs, it can be in crores, it can be in hundreds, it can be in thousands. So you have to use a logic that will that would accumulate all of the numbers, irrespective of whether the number is in lakhs, or it is in crores, or it is in hundreds. This logic will accumulate or will work well for all of the numbers. A is equal to a divided by 10. This is a simple program. I've just asked you to print it in different lines, the digits. Yeah, so this is the program, and now the explanation part. So over here I've created a class, and I'll just come to this part. Means this is the important part, the chopping part. So over here I've entered a number within a. Let that number be 567. I'll take this same number, and then I specified to the Java machine that the loop will continue to execute till the time a is greater than 0. Now why have I have specified that? Because in the loop I am dividing the number continuously over and over again, so that a time would come that the number would either be equal to 0, and then I've used this statement. I've created a variable n, and I've taken n is equal to a percent 10. That is, a has been divided by 10 and the remainder has been stored in n. So like 567, if I divide it by 10, then kindly inform in the chat box what will be the remainder. 567, because the initial value of a is 567. So if I'm dividing 567 by 10, as I've written over here, n is equal to a percent 10. So what will be the remainder which will get stored in n in the first iteration of the loop, or in the first execution of the loop? Kindly inform in the chat box. You have to also note that all the variables have been declared in int, so the decimal part will not be considered, and I am asking you for the remainder. And I hope you know what a remainder is. Using 7? Yeah, means you will get the remainder as 7. 0. The remain If you divide 567 by 10, you'll get the quotient as 556 and the remainder as 7, because 10 into 56 is 560 and the remainder will be 7. As simple as that. So the first value which will get stored in n will be 7. Kindly note that chopping always begins from the back. That is, if the number is 567, then 7 will first get detached from the number, then 6, and then 5. And I hope you all are through with division. Okay, so the first line states that the value to be stored in n is to be the remainder. So we get the first value as 7. Okay, so now the next line states that now we'll change the value of a. You As you can see over here, I have written a is equal to a divided by 10. So now if I divide a, that is 567, by 10, then kindly inform the quotient in the chat box. I hope you know the difference between quotient and remainder. So you can just type it in the chat box, the quotient which you'll get on dividing 567 by 10. Okay. Yeah, you you are saying that a is already declared as 567. Then why have I taken a is equal to a divided by 10? Okay. Do you remember a statement which we used in the for loop? X is equal to x plus a, or x plus 1. And I would like to remind you that over there also we had declared x earlier, but for the increment we use this statement. And it is not a hard and fast thing that we cannot change the value. I can always override the values in variables as per my logic and as per my requirements, you can say. And so that uh, I get the correct output. And henceforth, I've used this statement a is equal to a divided by 10, so that because I have already detached 7 from the number, and now I only require 6 and 5, and that's why I have divided a by 10. So you may just write the correct quotient which we'll receive on dividing the current value of a by 10 in the chat box, and then I'll continue. Okay, you both have written 56.7, and I would like to inform you that this answer is not very much correct, because before asking you the question I told you that I've declared the variables with the data type int, so the decimal part will get ignored in the answer, because int never enters or stores the decimal part. So you can now again try. Yeah, now he is correct. And what about the other candidate? Because all of the topics are interrelated. Yeah, in the beginning I told that means if you're declaring the variable with the data type int, you won't be having the decimal part in it. And henceforth, you will get the new value of a as 56. Clear? And now again, you have got the new value of a as 56, and then you will get to go to the print statement. And then print statement, you are printing the value of n. And for your knowledge, the value of n, do you remember what was the value of n over here in the first iteration when we divided 567 by 10 and we stored the remainder within n? Yeah, so what was the value of the remainder which we stored in the variable n in the first iteration? Yeah, it was 7. So 7 will get printed, and then the loop will run over once again. It'll again go to the while loop. It'll check if a is greater than 0, and if the value of a has been changed to 56. So it will check if 56 is greater than 0, and it is very much correct. 56 is greater than 0. So the loop will again execute. It will divide 56 by 10, and in n it will store the remainder, that is 6. And then the we'll get the new value of a as 56 divided by 10, so we'll get the value of the quotient as 5. And in n we had 6, so it will print 6, and the loop will again execute. It will again go to the while statement, and it'll check if 5 is greater than 0 or not. And then it'll again, n is equal to a percent 10, that is, it'll again try to divide it. And because now the quotient will be 0 but the remainder will be 5, so the value of n will again be 5. And then it will divide the a by 10 once again, and then the value 5 will get divided by 10, and we'll get the quotient as 0, and the value of n will get printed as 5. And because now then a new value of a is 0, it will check if a is greater than 0 or not, and because the condition is false, the loop will terminate. And I hope this statement all of these statements are clear to you. And as you said, you have not written x plus plus, so kindly inform me, where have I taken the variable x? Because if I have not taken the variable x, why would I use the increment statement on x? Okay, you are saying a. Okay, this I'll address to you after the break, and I hope it'll get cleared with in the break time only. And if not, I'll clear it for you. Now you may leave the session. It's time for the break. You're required to revise it once again, to go through it and rejoin. Okay, I'll get send you the new link. You're required to rehydrate. Okay, so yeah, welcome back. And now I'll just address the issue you raised. He said that why didn't I use any increment statement in the program, the chopping one which we just did before the break? And the answer to that is we use statement as x plus plus or a plus plus. Mainly we use it to change the value of the variable used. And over here, instead of using the increment statement, I've divided the values because increment statement was of no use over here in my logic. For this program, we needed the divide statement to get the quotient so as to change the value of a from 567 in the initial iteration to 56 in the second iteration. And that's why we did not use the increment statement. Rather, we used the divide statement in order to store the quotient. Is it clearly understood? You have not even used x as the variable. I got your question. You want to ask, that means can we write a is greater than equal to 0? And the answer to that is a clear and a big no. And that is because if you logically analyze the program, then you will be able to understand that the final value of a, which would lead to the termination of the loop, it is 0. And if you state in the condition that a is greater than or equal to 0, then the loop won't terminate at the termination point. I'll just go through this stopping statement once again because it's very necessary, very much important. So, see, for example, the user entered the value 567 as the value for the variable a. Then I've used the statement that the loop will execute while a is greater than 0. That is, every time it will check the value of a. If it is greater than 0, then only the loop will execute. And when the value of a is 0 or less than 0, then the loop will terminate. I've taken a variable n. I'm storing the remainder which I'll get on dividing the value of a by 10. So 567 divided by 10, I got the output as 7, and henceforth I got means the remainder as 7, and the first value of n in the loop got initialized as 7. And then I've divided a by 10 once again. See, this statement is equal to a by 10. It is just used to get the correct outputs and to continue the functioning or the working of the loop as we want. So I've divided a, it means I am overwriting the value of the variable a. So a is equal to a divided by 10, that is a is equal to 567 divided by 10, and I've got the quotient as 56. So now the new value of a is 56, and I printed the value of n, that was 7. Then the loop will execute once again. It will check if the new value of a 56 is greater than 0 or not. And because it is greater than 0, it will again do the same working. 6 will get stored in n, and a will get the new value of 5. And then it will again do try, because 5 is greater than 0, the same working will once again occur. And now because 5 divided by 10, the quotient will be 0, remainder is 5, will get printed. And because a is 0, then the loop will terminate, because while a is greater than 0 it is written, and because a is already 0, so the loop will terminate. Yeah, so this candidate, he asked that why haven't we used any data type before n and a. I request him to kindly understand this, that we only write the data type once with when we are declaring the variable. I've declared the variable a in the public static void main section, and I've declared the variable n over here. And when declaring the variable, we always write it with the data type, and hence I've written it with the data type once. I did not require to write it with the data type over and over again. I hope it is clear. The chopping statements. Yeah, you may unmute yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Up till where you understood chopping?
Sir, I am not understanding the last statement that a is equal to a is divided by 10.
See, I'll explain the line to you once again. And because it's a new topic, see, I expect you to understand it. But if you are facing any difficulty, because means it's a clearly a new topic for you, you can learn these lines even, because the logic will be the same. in every chopping program, but I'll explain to you once again. See, now you inform me. We have assumed the value of a to be 567. So now you tell me that when we reach this statement a is equal to a divided by 10, what will be the value of a?
The value of A will be 56.
Okay, a will be 56. Okay, and then we reach the print statement,
Yes,
and the value of n, that was 7, will get printed over here. Correct or not?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, but you have only written the imprint statement for N, not for A.
Yeah, because I do not require to write the value of a. I was required to print all of the digits present in the number in different lines. Do you remember the question? Correct?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So now the loop will once again check the value of a. Now you know the new value of a is 56, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
The loop will again check the value of a, means if it is greater than 0 or not. And only if it is greater than 0, then the loop will once again execute. We are using this statement a is equal to a divided by 10 just for the same usage which we did for the increment statement, that was also used to change the value of the variable of the loop, and this statement is also used to change the value of the variable of the loop. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
So is it clear, the whole program?
Yes, sir. What if we write A is greater than 1?
See, there will be certain consequences for that, because for example, if the number is 127, then the loop will not execute correctly, and henceforth it is recommended to use a is greater than 0, so that if at the final iteration the value of a is 1, then the 1 will get printed. Okay, because if we write greater than 1, then if at the final iteration the value is 1, then it will not get printed. Hope it's clear. Okay, so I'll run another program, a similar one on BlueJ, and the question for which I am sending you in the chat box, and you are required to make the program. I am giving you 4 minutes for that, and then we'll run that program and we'll end the class. So write a program to input a number and calculate the sum of its digits. So in this program, you have to calculate the sum of the digits. As in, if the number is 64, then you have to calculate the sum of the digits 6 plus 4 to get the output as 10 and print it. So over here, you can use the print statement outside the loop, okay, to get just the final value of the sum. Okay, so here's the program. Write a program to input a number and calculate the sum of its digits and print it. The same logic has to be used, only you have to just add the values of n over and over again in the while loop, and after the while loop you have to just print the value of the variable in which you have stored the addition of the values of n. You're getting 4 minutes for this program. You're expected to make it by 11:51. If you will not use chopping, then it'll be difficult for you to detach the numbers at this level, and henceforth you are required to use the same logic. The program will be in same, except for us the statement in which you will means add all of the values of n, because in the n you're chopping the number in n, in the variable n. So you'll just add the values of n over and over again in the while loop, and after the while loop you'll print the values of the value of the variable in which you have stored the sum. Okay, you're required to raise your hand as soon as you complete it. We'll edit the same program and we'll run it in the BlueJ. Yeah, you have made the program.
Yes. Only we will change the int A, comma int B, and then we will write add statement as int n is equal to A plus B.
So means, was there any problem in understanding the question? Means like the question stated that you have to input a number, not two numbers, and you have to calculate the sum of the digits of that number, not the sum of both the numbers or two numbers. It stated that you have to calculate the sum of the digits of that number, as in 64. So 6 plus 4 equals 10. Clear?
Okay.
And then because you asked that we have to use chopping method, I told that yeah. You have to use the same logic. Okay. So has any of the candidates completed the program? Shopping is a new topic, I understand. It'll take some time, but eventually you will make it either tomorrow or today.
Sir, after that, a is equal to a divided by 10. You will write the addi that
Yeah.
sum add.
Yeah. You're very much close. And if any of you, both, any of you have the statement which is to be written over here, they may tell, or then I'll make the program else.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you got the logic, or
Sir, I am saying that after that, a
yeah,
is
you
equal
are
to
correct.
a divided by 10.
You are correct. What you are saying, you have to just formulate the whole statement in the manner it is to be written. Okay, I'll just quickly make that program.
So y is equal to n plus a.
Not n plus a, because then the value of a will get added to the values of the digits. Like a was 56 and 567, then it will do 56 plus 7. But we want 5 plus 6 plus 7 if the value is 567. And henceforth, a simple statement sum is equal to sum plus n. And over here, I am declaring a variable int sum. It is equal to 0. Same thing which we use in the increment statement. A is equal to a plus 1. It's almost same. And see, now you have to note a great thing, that to get the final output as the means sum of all of the numbers, you will just close the brackets of while after this sum statement, and after the while loop print you will use the print statement, and you will print the sum over here. So now I'll be running this program. So here's BlueJ. Okay, here's the program. I'll just compile it and see the value of a. uh, we'll take 567. So I want to get the output as 5 plus 6 plus 7. So 5 plus 6 is 11, and 11 plus 7 is 18. So the output should come as 18. And here's the output 18. Clear or not? And if I would want to like print all of the numbers in different lines, the question we did, I'll just make a small edit to the program and print the value of n over here. The same program which we did for the means before the break. And now it will print the values of all of the numbers, the 7, 6, and 5. Okay. Yeah, you have any doubt?
Yes, sir. That after that, int n is equal to 0, int sum is equal to 0. If there will be no error
Why would there be an
in
error?
this program,
Yeah, so why would there be an error? Saying
I
that
was saying that you have
okay,
not.
I have not used it in the loop over here as I used in the previous one. Okay, so I can declare whole loads of variables and not use them. It's up to my wish, but because I have declared the variable, the program will run. It's not as if that I have to use the variable which I have declared. I can even declare int d. The program will get compiled. So the program will run completely okay. So now your query is cleared. See, chopping, we'll do more programs on chopping tomorrow. I hope up till here chopping is clear, means how to detach all of the numbers, print them, to take out their sum, maybe clear. You can unmute and answer. You can write in the chat box and answer, because then I'll just end the class. Okay, that's great. And okay, so now you may leave the session, and but you're required to revise everything, to formulate your notes in a manner that you understand them clearly. Okay, we'll be meeting tomorrow. We'll do some more programs on chopping. so you'll get familiar with it. So we'll be keeping it up till here. You're required to revise everything. So you may leave the session now. Thank you.